Welcome to our YouTube channel Dream Dynamics.
5. Harsh truths you need to accept to live a happy life. Life doesn't hand out its greatest lessons wrapped in shiny paper or tied with a neat bow. Instead, it often delivers them in the harshest, most unforgiving ways. The truths that sting, the ones that feel like a punch to the gut, are the very truths that have the power to heal us, set us free, and ultimately guide us toward genuine happiness. But here's the catch. Most of us shy away from these uncomfortable realities. We cling to comforting illusions and half-truths, convincing ourselves that ignorance is bliss. It's easier to float through life believing in a distorted version of reality than to confront the unfiltered truth head-on. And who could blame us? After all, illusions are comfortable, while reality often demands more than we think we're capable of giving. The mind tends to want to bring the past into the fold to tell us the truth. But I want you to recall, but here you are. Something has brought you to this moment. A longing for clarity, a search for purpose, or perhaps an unshakable feeling that something in your life isn't quite right. Ask yourself, are you truly happy? Or have you buried your dissatisfaction under endless distractions, hoping it will somehow disappear? The truth is, happiness isn't found in avoiding life's harsh realities. It's found in embracing them. To live a fulfilling life, you must strip away the illusions and face the truths most people spend their lives avoiding. These truths aren't for the faint of heart. They demand introspection, courage, and a willingness to let go of the lies you've been telling yourself. But if you're ready to lean in, these 5 harsh truths can transform your life. Truth 1. Happiness is a choice. Happiness isn't a mystical force reserved for the fortunate, nor is it a fleeting emotion dictated by your circumstances. It's a choice, a conscious, intentional act of perspective and mindset. This truth, while liberating, can also feel daunting because it places the responsibility for your well-being squarely in your hands. But once you internalize that happiness is something you can create, you unlock an incredible power to shape your life, regardless of what life throws at you. Let's debunk a common misconception. Choosing happiness doesn't mean plastering a fake smile on your face, denying pain, or pretending that everything is fine. Life can be incredibly hard. Challenges, heartbreaks, and disappointments are inevitable. However, choosing happiness means finding meaning, joy, and purpose, even amidst those struggles. It's about shifting your focus from what you lack to what you have, and learning to embrace imperfections as part of the human experience. Imagine 2 people facing the exact same scenario, a heavy rainstorm. One person curses the sky, grumbles about the inconvenience, and focuses on their wet clothes and disrupted plans. The other person lifts their face to the rain, marveling at the freshness it brings and the beauty of the droplets on leaves. Same rain, same conditions, yet 2 entirely different experiences. What's the difference? Perspective. Happiness operates in much the same way. It's not about eliminating life's storms, but about learning to dance in the rain. This perspective isn't something you're born with. It's a skill you cultivate through effort, discipline, and practice. The more you choose to find joy in everyday moments, the more natural it becomes, eventually transforming how you view the world. But let's be honest, choosing happiness is rarely the easiest path. It requires courage and commitment. It demands that you stop playing the victim and take ownership of your reactions, even when circumstances feel unfair. It means acknowledging pain without letting it consume you, finding gratitude even in the smallest of blessings, and looking for growth in the face of adversity. Happiness is a habit, not a destination. Here's the harsh truth. Happiness isn't something you'll find waiting for you at the end of the road. It's not a destination you reach once you've checked off certain boxes, whether that's financial success, a perfect relationship, or a dream career. If you tie your happiness to external achievements or conditions, you'll always be chasing something just out of reach. Instead, happiness is a habit you build, moment by moment, through the choices you make every day. It's about learning to appreciate the process rather than fixating solely on the outcome. Consider the runner who finds joy not just in crossing the finish line, but in every step of the journey, the effort, the sweat, the rhythm of their breath. That's where the real magic lies. Choosing happiness doesn't mean your life will be devoid of challenges or pain. In fact, it's precisely because life is difficult that choosing happiness becomes so powerful. It's a form of resilience, a way to reclaim your inner peace despite external chaos. How to choose happiness every day. If happiness is a choice, how do you make that choice daily? 1. Practice gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. Take time each day to reflect on your blessings, no matter how small. A warm cup of coffee, a kind word from a friend, or even the fact that you woke up today. All of these are reasons to feel grateful. 2. Embrace the present moment. Much of our unhappiness stems from dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. By grounding yourself in the present, you open yourself to the beauty and richness of what's happening right now. 3. Reframe challenges as opportunities. Life's difficulties can feel overwhelming, but they also present opportunities for growth. Instead of seeing setbacks as failures, view them as lessons. Each challenge you overcome makes you stronger, more resilient, and more equipped to handle the next one. 4. Limit negativity. Surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. Minimize exposure to toxic environments, negative media, and energy-draining relationships. The company you keep has a significant impact on your mindset. 5. Celebrate small wins. Happiness isn't always about grand achievements. Sometimes it's in the small victories, the effort you put into a task, the patience you showed in a difficult situation, or simply getting through a tough day. Celebrate these moments. 6. Accept imperfections. Perfection is an illusion. Waiting for everything to align perfectly before allowing yourself to be happy is a losing game. Instead, embrace the messy, imperfect beauty of life. A practical example. Imagine you're stuck in traffic on your way to an important meeting. You could let frustration take over, honking your horn and spiraling into negativity. Or you could use the time to listen to a favorite podcast, reflect on your goals, or simply take a few deep breaths. The traffic hasn't changed, but your experience of it has. This small choice exemplifies the power of choosing happiness. It's not about changing the situation, but about changing your perspective. The transformative power of happiness. Choosing happiness doesn't mean life will stop testing you. There will still be heartbreaks, failures, and moments of doubt. But when you make happiness a priority, you'll find that these challenges lose some of their sting. They become stepping stones instead of roadblocks, opportunities to grow rather than reasons to despair. Think of happiness as a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. Over time, this mindset reshapes your entire approach to life. You stop waiting for circumstances to align perfectly and start finding joy in the imperfections. You learn to focus on what truly matters: connection, growth, purpose, and let go of the rest. Life doesn't hand out happiness on a silver platter. It requires effort, intention, and a willingness to face its harsh truths. But when you embrace this reality, you discover something extraordinary. Happiness isn't something you find, it's something you create. Are you ready to take responsibility for your own happiness? The choice, as always, is yours. Truth 2. You are not that important. This may sound harsh, but let it sink in. The universe does not revolve around you. For some, this truth is a weight lifted off their shoulders. For others, it feels like a dagger to the ego. From a young age, society tells us we're special, unique, and destined for greatness. Social media amplifies this narrative, encouraging us to curate a highlight reel of our lives for validation. But the truth is, most of us are simply ordinary, and that's perfectly okay. Here's the reality. Your coworker isn't obsessing over the typo in your email. Your neighbor isn't paying attention to how you struggle with your trash bags every Monday morning. The stranger who saw you trip and fall on the sidewalk last week, they've already forgotten about you. People are far too absorbed in their own worries, insecurities, and dramas to give much thought to your life. At first, this truth might feel like rejection. After all, we like to think we're at the center of everyone's universe. But if you sit with it, you'll realize it's actually a gift. The belief that everyone is watching and judging you is exhausting. It's a mental prison that keeps you from living authentically. Now imagine what happens when you let go of this belief. You're no longer paralyzed by fear of judgment. You're free to take risks, to fail, and to try again. You can unapologetically be yourself, knowing that the world isn't scrutinizing your every move. Ironically, when you stop trying to be important to everyone, you make room for what truly matters. You shift your focus from seeking external validation to cultivating meaningful relationships, pursuing your passions, and living with intention. True significance isn't about being the center of attention. It's about making a genuine impact in the areas of life that matter most to you. So take a deep breath and release the weight of believing you're always in the spotlight. You're not, and that's a beautiful thing. Affirming your most important people. Truth 3. Life isn't always fair. If life were fair, the kindest people would never get hurt. Every ounce of hard work would yield its deserved reward, and the good guys would always win. But here's the hard truth. Life doesn't play by those rules. It operates on its own terms, terms that are indifferent to your plans, your expectations, or your sense of justice. Fairness, as comforting as it may be, is a human concept, not a universal guarantee. Fairness, as comforting as it may be, is a human concept, not a universal guarantee. As children, we were taught that good behavior earns rewards and bad behavior leads to consequences. We carried that belief into adulthood, hoping that life would mirror the fairness of playground rules. But adulthood has a way of shattering those illusions. The hard-working employee doesn't always get the promotion. The kindest person isn't shielded from heartbreak. The most deserving dreams sometimes remain unfulfilled, while others, seemingly less qualified, rise effortlessly to success. Think back to a time when you poured your heart and soul into something, a project, a relationship, a goal, only to watch someone else, less deserving in your eyes, reap the rewards. It stung, didn't it? That ache, that frustration, is the sting of life's indifference. It's a tough pill to swallow, but fairness is not life's currency. What life values is not fairness, but adaptability. The sooner you let go of the notion that life owes you fairness, the sooner you can redirect your energy toward what truly matters, your ability to adapt, to pivot, and to keep moving forward, no matter how unjust the circumstances may feel. Life's unfairness is a test, not a sentence. Picture a chessboard. Sometimes the pieces are stacked against you, and the odds feel insurmountable. A less experienced player might throw up their hands, lamenting the unfair setup. But the best players don't waste time complaining. They strategize. They survey the board, calculate their options, and make their next move, no matter how small. They understand that the game isn't about the fairness of the setup. It's about how you play with the hand you've been dealt. Now imagine this. A storm hits, uprooting everything in its path. Do you stand there, yelling at the sky, cursing the clouds for their cruelty? Or do you start picking up the pieces? Complaining about life's unfairness is like shouting at a storm. It may feel cathartic for a moment, but it changes absolutely nothing. Instead, shift your focus. Use setbacks as stepping stones. Let the unfair moments fuel your determination. Resilience isn't about denying life's unfairness. It's about refusing to let it define you. Focus on what you can control. When you stop expecting life to be fair, you free yourself to focus on what is within your power. Instead of dwelling on the injustice of a missed promotion, you can work on honing your skills. Instead of ruminating on a heartbreak, you can invest in self-growth and relationships that truly align with your values. Instead of comparing your path to someone else's, you can find fulfillment in your unique journey. Life's unfair moments are often disguised blessings. They test your resilience, your creativity, and your ability to adapt. They force you to dig deeper, to grow in ways you never imagined, and to uncover strengths you didn't know you had. Find beauty beyond fairness. The truth is, life's lack of fairness doesn't diminish its beauty. If anything, it enhances it. When you stop waiting for life to hand you what you think you deserve, you start finding joy in the process rather than just the outcome. You notice the small victories, the fleeting moments of connection, and the quiet triumphs that often go unnoticed. Treat life's unfairness as an opportunity, a test of your character, a chance to grow, and a reminder of your resilience. Remember, while life may not always be fair, it can still be breathtakingly beautiful. The key lies in how you choose to see it and what you decide to do with the hand you're dealt. So, the next time life feels unjust, don't waste energy shaking your fist at the sky. Take a deep breath, recalibrate, and make your next move. In that moment, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. Truth 4. Accepting that not everyone will like you. This truth can be hard to accept because deep down most of us want to be liked. We want to be seen as kind, capable, and someone worth knowing. We often go out of our way to win approval, bending our personalities and choices to fit the expectations of others. But here's the painful reality. No matter how hard you try, no matter how likable you think you are, there will always be people who simply don't like you. And you know what? That's perfectly fine. Let's face it, not everyone you meet becomes your favorite person either. Even the kindest, most well-meaning people don't universally click with everyone they meet. Compatibility isn't about being enough or too much. It's about the complicated intersection of values, personalities, and experiences. Some relationships just don't align, and that's a normal part of life. The problem arises when you spend too much energy trying to win over people who don't resonate with you. The more you twist and mold yourself to meet their expectations, the further you drift from your authentic self. You might even reach a point where you barely recognize the person you've become. Exercise, self-care, work in progress. tracker. Think about how exhausting this is, constantly wondering what others think of you, changing your behavior to suit different people, and chasing approval from those who might not even deserve your time. Worse still, even when you succeed at earning their approval, it feels hollow because you know it wasn't truly you they liked. It was the version of yourself you presented to them. Here's a truth that might feel like a relief. You don't need everyone's approval. Your worth doesn't hinge on being universally liked. Instead, it's defined by the depth of your relationships with the people who truly matter, the ones who love and value you for exactly who you are, without conditions or pretenses. When you stop trying to please everyone, you make space for authentic relationships. The right people, the ones who align with your values and accept your flaws, will find you. These connections will feel effortless and fulfilling because they're built on honesty and mutual respect. But letting go of the need for universal likability isn't easy. It requires courage to walk away from people who don't value you and to accept that their disapproval doesn't diminish your worth. It's about embracing the fact that some relationships simply aren't meant to be, and that's okay. Instead of focusing on who doesn't like you, turn your attention to those who do. Invest your energy in the people who bring joy, encouragement, and meaning to your life. When you stop chasing approval, you'll realize that being your authentic self is enough. Remember, your tribe is out there. They might be smaller in number than you imagined, but their love and support will be genuine. And when you stop trying to win over the world, you'll find the freedom to be unapologetically yourself. And that's when the right people will truly see and appreciate you. Truth 5. Change is inevitable. Change is life's constant companion, yet it's the one thing most people fear. It doesn't tiptoe gently into your life or wait until you're ready. It arrives uninvited, often at the most inconvenient times, and it rarely looks how you expect. Change can be uncomfortable, even painful. But here's the hard truth. Resisting it doesn't stop it. Life doesn't stand still. Life doesn't stand still. Seasons shift, relationships evolve, and circumstances transform. The career you thought you'd have forever may suddenly end. The person you imagined spending your life with may walk away. The goals you worked so hard for may lose their meaning. These changes can feel like losses, and they often come with grief. But they're also a natural part of life's rhythm. Why do we resist change so fiercely? Because we're wired to seek stability. The familiar feels safe, even when it no longer serves us. We cling to routines, relationships, and identities, fearing what might happen if we let them go. But the paradox of life is that stability is an illusion. The only true constant is change. Imagine trying to stop the tide with your bare hands. It's exhausting and futile. Now imagine letting the tide carry you, trusting it to take you to new shores. When you stop resisting change and start embracing it, you open yourself to growth, transformation, and opportunities you never could have imagined. Think about the moments in your life when you've grown the most. Chances are, there were times of significant change. Perhaps it was a move to a new city, a career shift, or the end of a relationship. While these experiences were likely uncomfortable, they also shaped you into the person you are today. Change is like a storm. It can be chaotic and unsettling, uprooting everything in its path. But it also clears the way for new beginnings. After the storm passes, the air feels fresher, the world looks brighter, and you find yourself standing in a place you might never have reached otherwise. Consider the butterfly. Before it can take flight, it must struggle to emerge from its cocoon. That struggle is essential. It strengthens its wings, preparing it for the challenges of the world. Without it, the butterfly wouldn't survive. Change works in the same way. It's often uncomfortable, but it's necessary for growth. When you embrace change, you discover strengths you never knew you had. You learn to adapt, to let go of what no longer serves you, and to find joy in new possibilities. You realize that life's greatest opportunities often lie on the other side of discomfort. So the next time change comes knocking, don't resist it. Open the door, welcome it in, and see what it has to teach you. Yes, it's scary. Yes, it's uncertain. But it's also the path to growth, resilience, and transformation. Embracing change doesn't mean you won't feel fear or uncertainty. It means you move forward despite those feelings. It's about trusting that even in the chaos, there's purpose and potential. And when you lean into change, you'll find that it's not an obstacle. It's a doorway to the next chapter of your life.